Hello, everybody. As promised, here's a quick video on a couple of trade ideas for this coming week. I've selected, not the very low time frame, so it's more like the higher time frames, 4-hour charts, daily and weekly, so you can actually follow through what's happening with them. So some of those opportunities are triggering already. So let's start here with the first one, top left. This is the gold future, right? That's a daily chart. And what we see here is an S1 pattern that is sitting on a base. And this is an excitable test bar. That's basically a big sell-off day that scares the whole market. And I actually love to trade around volatility. That's a volatility increase, right? So this is the entry. The green line is the entry. The red line is the stop. The stop is very well protected. It's below this volatility scare. And the target is up here. So we easily get to 2-to-1 reward to risk. And this has a lot of upside potential once it breaks to a new high. So it's just a note of caution. So we're looking here at one time frame only. So that's the low frame. For these patterns, for all three systems, the patterns need to fulfill rules in 3 time frames. So this is the low frame, and there are rules on the mid frame and on the high frame. Well, I've checked these other time frames we don't see here, and the rules are fulfilled there as well. So what we're looking here is basically just the low frame where the pattern occurs, and this is the gecko pattern. So this is today is Saturday, so this has basically triggered on Friday, and as the markets open Sunday evening, well, we'll see where the price will be. The price could even be lower, so you get into this a long trade with a discount, right? Or on Monday, if the price comes lower, it has already triggered. So entry is possible basically on this S1 pattern. Now this is the next one. That's on a 4-hour chart. That's the RB future. That's gasoline on a 4-hour chart, and this is a system 2. That's a turtle pattern. So this is a harmonic pattern. It's a little bit more complex. It's a more subtle pattern than the gecko, but it's very powerful. And it's a harmonic pattern. So it's still, there's still some price activity needed to complete the harmony. And what I'm basically looking for, I mean, it already looks pretty good. But in order for it to completely mature and fulfill the rules, well, what is needed is basically a little push higher, and then another like strong push, another test bar is required. That might look like this, and then a break of this last high. Well, that's the entry. So here's the entry, here's the stop, and the target basically is up here. So this has around 3.5 to 4. A reward to risk, and I'm looking forward to see how that plays out and whether there's an entry actually coming. Now this one on the bottom, that's a 2-year, that's a T note, a US T note, 2-year, the ZT futures contract. We can see that there was a really nice momentum move. So I'm looking for these events, right? There's a big momentum move, a volatility increase, and then a multi-bar pattern forms on a base. So that's a very prolonged pattern. Well, that's a weekly chart, obviously. So well, that has been on for, let's see, that has been long for about a year, right? Yeah, it has been long for about a year. It has put in a test bar, an excitable price action event, and it's very close to get triggered. So what we need to happen is the price goes slightly above the green line, and then the stop is down here. This is the target. So this has a reward to risk of about I would say 5 to 1. So that looks quite nice. Just as a side note as well, like these target areas, I don't take full profit here in these target areas. Like once the trade develops, I'm basically reducing risk. So these black lines, these are price levels where I'm reducing risk or eliminating risk, so it becomes a break-even trade. So when and then once this is achieved, well, I'm trading my stop in order to protect some of the profits. So once the target is achieved, well, that's great, right? But it could even go beyond that, because I'm trading my stops and I want to get stopped out by the market. So gold could go much higher, right, than than the target as plotted here. So now let's have a look at the last chart. That's the ES. That's the S&P 500 future on a 4-hour chart. So this is S3. And with S3, we're basically trading a super trend that has been established 2 time frames higher. So now here, so 2 time frames higher is a daily, is the weekly, right? From the 240, 2 time frames higher is the weekly. And we're basically looking here to trade the super trend in this time frame, but we're waiting for a deep pullback into the 2134 moving average band. And it could actually look like this, that we get a big dip, like everybody gets scared, right? We get another test bar, and then we might get, hopefully we might get a low risk entry with an entry here and a stop down here. It might look something like this, right? Like this bar or this bar or even this bar, but I would like to see it coming in like at the lower level. And this is the target, and we might get a 5 to 1 reward to risk. And the others we might see, some of those might never occur, right? And some of those might deliver a nice R result. So I'm keeping you updated, and I hope that was of interest. Thank you.